Hello everyone and welcome to session 3 of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. My name is Randie Henderson and I am one of the Black Feminist Reading Circle members of this online group. This session runs from January 20th until June 2nd and includes 2 week-long breaks. Our democratically selected reading material is Harriet A. Washington's book, Medical Apartheid, The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to the Present. Our book group meets each Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 8 on the Google Plus Hangouts on Air platform. You may find the Global Black Feminist Reader Circle on Google Plus, YouTube, and Facebook, and always feel free to join us in reading our story together.
I'd like to welcome everyone to, this is meeting 17 of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. This is our final chapter, almost our final chapter of our reading of Medical Apartheid, The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to the Present by Harriet A. Washington. And tonight our chapter is 15, Aberrant Wars, American Bioterrorism Targets Blacks. Yes. I'd like to remind if we have any viewers, they can watch us on the links or they can catch up later on Google Plus or YouTube, Facebook. Our sessions run until June 18th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Let's introduce all our members here tonight. Let's start with Randie.
Hello, my name is Randie, and I am watching from Atlanta, and we'll be telling everybody what book will be chosen for the next session at the end of this session.
All right, thank you, Randie. And Edwina?
Hi, my name is Edwina. I'm watching you from Utah.
All right, thank you, Edwina. All right, and Venita?
Hi, my name is Venita Walker, and I'm joining you from Connecticut. Welcome.
Thank you. And Michelle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Michelle Odom, and I'm located in Brooklyn, New York.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, I see we have Joel Jones has joined our discussion. Joel, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Joel Jones. I'm calling you from, I'm on assignment in Virginia, IA, doing a little marketing for my little festivities I got coming up, but I'm from Charleston, South Carolina.
And I'm Georgette Moses. I'm your moderator from this evening, and I'm located in the South at the beach. And that's all I'm going to say. All right.
In this final chapter, Washington presents us with more examples of covert forces and government organizations targeting blacks for use as human guinea pigs and extermination. Since the 1940s, chemical and biological weapons have been developed for specific use against ethnic groups in a U.S.-mediated bioterrorism perpetrated by American scientists at home and abroad. White supremacy groups from Arkansas to Rhodesia had access to these poisons, chemicals, and biological weapons as they expressed their murderous ethnic hatred. The joint U.S. Army-CIA project, MK-NAOMI, and South Africa's Project Coast facilitated the current use of refined, weaponized biological and chemical agents by South Africa, the Soviet Union, Israel, and Iraq. Despite the 1963 Geneva Convention ban, More benign weapons exist, like the mother of all stink bombs used by the London police, that are genetically tailored to specific ethnic groups. However, such precision may not always be necessary if existing variations in genetics, lifestyle, habits, health profile, and diet are effectively exploited.
Expressions of ethnic hatred. Hate groups in the United States and South Africa share a common sickness. The ethnic hatred and their ideological, I hate to pronounce the word.
Ideologies?
Ideology may not always be apparent, but the racial political agendas led them to commit violent radical attacks and genocide. White Rhodesians poisoned the black majority communities with anthrax and cholera attacks and genocide. Oh, cholera attacks till 1970. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time with all of this tonight.
That's okay.
A white Christian supremacist group in Arkansas gathered 30 gallons of potassium cyanide to poison urban water supplies throughout the nation in 1987. A neo-Nazi group stockpiled bubonic plague, and a right-wing extremist group made rich raisin from castor beans. Even the Seminole Liberation Army, SLA, murdered a Black West Oakland school superintendent with cyanide-tipped bullets in the first proven fatality of domestic bioterrorism in 1973. That was very bad. I hope you understood that, because I didn't. Number 7, do these accounts make you feel like it's always open season on Black people? Number 8, had you heard of any of the groups mentioned in this section before reading this chapter? The Covenant, the Sworn Arms of the Lord, the Patriots Council of Minnesota, the SLA.
Okay. Thank you, Venita. And
You're welcome.
please answer any question if you like.
Yeah. Number 1 and number 7, do these accounts make you feel like it's always open season on Black folks? Yeah, it's always been open season on Black folks since the beginning of time. This is just, different time, a different set of victims, or different actors. So yes, it's open season on Black folks. There are no consequences. It goes back to once you have to accept us as humans. And that goes back to our readings, so yes. What are we going to do about it? I don't know.
I kind of feel the same. Thanks for your commentary, Venita. Does anybody else want to tackle either or question?
Yeah, I had heard of all of those hate groups for a long time, and there are a lot of them out there. There are over 1,000 something. And there's a group, it was at the Southern Poverty Law Center, I believe, that tracks their activity. So they're out there, and they keep coming, and they keep coming, and they keep coming.
That's true. And thanks for adding that addition about the Southern Poverty Law
Poverty.
Center.
Poverty.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
If it weren't for them, we probably wouldn't know about all these groups in each state and what they're doing.
Right. I was saying to Venita, what was interesting in this chapter was you have the FBI. On the one hand, you have the Army and the CIA experimenting with the poisonous mosquitoes, weaponized mosquitoes. So you have, two arms of government doing that, and then you have the FBI that's playing this role of infiltrating these hate groups, and actually probably saving some Black lives. And but I said to her, I think maybe what they figure is that when the government is killing people or experimenting on people, they're doing it in a very strategic, planned, well-resourced kind of way. They know who they want to kill and when they want to kill them, and how to target them specifically, and how to contain it, and that kind of thing. Just like at the end, when they decided that they did not want to hurt the bald eagles, then they controlled themselves. But I think the government's concern with the hate groups is that when they go to planning to kill somebody, they don't much care who they take out, and and they don't have the same level of resources or capacity that the government has. And so some good people, might get harmed. The bald eagles might get harmed.
Yeah.
Some white folks might get taken out. Some Congress people might get taken out. And so I think that's why they have to play the role of trying to contain these hate groups, because they're just straight up crazy.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Thanks, Michelle. Would anybody else like to add to?
Well, lately I've been concerned about this uprising of these bikers. Like, we had the incident in Waco, Texas, and I was looking at a news video the other day about them heading towards a Islamic mosque to, it said, draw pictures of their Prophet Muhammad. And in my mind, well, who's next? If they're going after religious groups like the Sunni Muslims, to me it just sounds like these bikers were, or what's next? These bikers were going to what? Burn a cross?
I hadn't heard that story. That's wow. That just happened.
I mean, what are they gonna do next? Who are they gonna attack next?
Okay. All right. Wow.
Yeah, and I've also read some things that these hate groups have been sort of systematically, conscientiously infiltrating America's police departments, and that's why we have this sort of rash of Black people being killed with all regularity by police on the streets. And certainly hate groups, the Klan, and their ilk have always been a part of America's police forces. But but they had some level of a thin layer of restraint that just seems to have completely eroded at this point.
If I may, I remember when I was in the military and I first found out that Ku Klux Klansmen could be in the armed forces, and I was like totally disturbed, about that, but that, they had rules they couldn't be active or whatever, blah blah blah. And a lot of people don't understand. We had this big uprising about, the Crips and the Bloods are in the military, and all these other, gangs are in the military, getting paralegal training, but they don't know. But people fail to realize that hate groups have always been in the military, getting a certain amount of training in the Air Guard and the reserves, and they get all this training, at the local level, and so they can carry out their mission or their lone wolf mission. And then when you see and you hear about, maybe, the street gangs like Crips, Bloods, and what's that, MS-13 and all,
Yes.
recruiting, young people that are unblemished with records to go in. Well, they're doing the same thing, but they won't include the hate groups that are in the gangs that been there for ever since the inception of the military.
Exactly.
And so they'll say, we got a problem with gangs. Okay, but you've been letting gangs in the military, but now there's a problem when you have people of color that are doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wow. Good point.
Yeah, my son, who's in the Utah National Guard, he said he was having some problems, and he transferred to Washington, D.C.
Oh yeah, we said, and I used to train air guardsmen. If everyone that was in, if you're active duty, your mission is to train guardsmen, and you see these groups coming from all over the country, from these little hamlets and villages, and you see them little cliques, and you might see the mayor or city councilman, and you might see them might be 98% all Caucasian, maybe one or two African Americans, and the guys that are African American, they may be a postman or something like this here, but you see these cliques all over the country, Utah, Wyoming, and you just know, it's like, oh my God, that these cats, you know what they're about, you already know. We are just, so if we got cats going into the gang, it's like all of a sudden, oh, they're doing it now, it's a big problem. No, you've been had this problem.
That's exactly what my son, Freddie, is going through. So in the Utah National Guard, so therefore, by my mother living in Prince George's County, Maryland, she, and working for Andrews Air Force Base in the past, she told him he would have better opportunities if he transferred to Washington, D.C. So right now he's in Anacostia.
Wow. Well, I wish him the best of luck, Edwina, because these people who hate are everywhere. Wow.
Well, that's the best thing you can do is transfer out, because they get you in places like Utah and everything. All of a sudden, there's a training accident. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen a lot of that going on.
And what is it's called P? He tells me about the P. Is the PSTs? It's training PSTs. They were giving him a lot of problems.
Oh, okay. Yeah, leave the group. They're going to be what they're going to be. So just leave the group.
That's good advice. All right.
Got it.